We usually hear that there are two ways to run an economy. Either the private sector, which is all about profit, or the public sector, run by the state. But what if that's not the whole story? What if there's a third option, a totally different way of doing business? Well, today we're going to dig into that.
And that's really the big question we're asking. Is it actually possible to build a system where serving people comes before making a profit? The answer might just surprise you.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll do a quick refresher on the two models we all know, the private and public sectors. Then, we're going to dive deep into this cooperative third way, see how it stacks up, and wrap things up with a huge, real-world example from India.
Okay, let's kick things off with the model that shapes so much of our world, the private sector. The world of big corporations and fierce market competition.
When it comes right down to it, it's all about one thing: profit. The entire system is engineered to maximize it. Ownership is private, basic economic laws like supply and demand are supposed to run the show, and competition is really the engine that drives everything. But there's a pretty famous critique of this relentless focus on profit, and our source highlights it right here. The argument is that the system can create this cycle where wealth just keeps concentrating at the very top. It's a fundamental challenge to a purely profit-driven world. All right, so if we swing to the complete other side of the spectrum, we land in the public sector. This model is built on a totally different foundation, putting the collective good way ahead of any individual's quest for wealth.
So, in this model, the main goal isn't profit, it's social welfare. The whole philosophy is really rooted in socialist principles, heavily influenced by thinkers like Karl Marx. And the biggest difference? Ownership of resources, the means of production, it all lies with the state, not with private hands.
And that brings us to this core concept: common ownership. The idea here is that things like factories, land, and major resources are controlled for the benefit of everybody in society, not just to make a profit for a select few.
So we've got the private sector, all about profit, and the public sector, focused on the common good managed by the state. And that brings us to the main event, the cooperative sector. This is a genuine third way that kind of blends elements of both, but it's also completely its own thing.
This little comparison really gets to the heart of it. See, where the private sector is chasing profit, the cooperative is all about service. And where one model can lead to concentrated wealth and can sometimes close doors, the other is trying to cut out the middlemen and pass that value straight to its members.
This table makes the differences so clear. Just look at that governance row. Instead of a top-down corporate structure or a big state bureaucracy, cooperatives are democratic. We're talking one member, one vote. And then look at goal. It's not about dominating the market. It's simply about the economic betterment of the members themselves. It's a whole different mindset.
I think this quote from H. Calvert just captures the spirit perfectly. It's not about capital, it's not about the state, it's about people. As human beings choosing to come together as equals to make their lives better, it's such a human-centered way of looking at things. And these aren't just vague ideas, right? Cooperatives are guided by internationally recognized principles. Anyone can join, the members are the ones in control, and they're independent organizations. But what I find most interesting are those last two, a commitment to work with other co-ops and a real concern for the wider community. That's what really keeps them grounded.
Okay, so you might be thinking, this all sounds really nice in theory, but does it actually work, at scale? Well, let's take a look at the cooperative movement in India, because it is nothing short of a global powerhouse. So, how big are we talking? In India, there are roughly 353,000 cooperative societies. And get this, they have over 175 million members. Just let that sink in. That's more than the entire population of most countries on Earth. The scale is just staggering.
So when you put those numbers together, it's absolutely clear. India is home to the largest cooperative movement in the world. This is not some small niche idea, it's a massive economic force.
But of course, it's not a perfect system. The source material is very honest about the challenges. Things like a lack of strong leadership, some primary societies being a bit weak or unstable, and sometimes a tendency to neglect the business side of things. These can really hold them back. Even government intervention, which might be well-intentioned, can sometimes get in the way of their democratic nature.
And that really brings us to our final question, something for you to chew on. In this world we live in, dominated by giant global corporations on one side and state-run agencies on the other, is there a bigger space for this third way? I mean, what could a member-owned,
community-focused organization actually bring to your neighborhood? It's a pretty powerful thought to leave you with.